Hotel.
What's up, sis? Peace with you. How you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much. We're gonna that's nice, that's great. Gonna have some people come into the room
Yeah.
and get started.
How are you?
I'm well, I'm peace, I'm feeling well. Got some good meditation, some good good foods today, so very vibrant. Um, well in my spirit. How about yourself?
I'm doing well also. I just came off of my 21-day detox, ended a few days ago, and I'm feeling really good. Every time I come off of this detox, it's like it takes me to a whole nother level, and I just want to keep it going.
For
So that's
sure.
what I'm doing. I see you have the vibes going in the background too, the
I gotta get the
incense.
vibes going, for sure. Yeah, that 21-day fast. I saw that on your Instagram, on your page. How
Yeah,
did that go? It went real good.
it was really good. I've been doing it for about 8 years now, and every single time I do this detox, it goes to another level. I eliminated some foods that I see are not going to be great for me going forward. So, I
Hmm.
can see the changes in my wellness, specifically in my cycle. I can definitely see the changes.
Wow,
Yeah, so it's like things are balancing out and becoming a lot easier for me. So, yeah,
that's good.
it was great.
That's great. Well, I feel
Yeah,
that vibration coming from your fast, that energy, freshness, of emptiness, not emptiness in a sense of not having nothing to pour out, but just ready to receive, like you've birthed a lot of things in a sense, So I could
yeah,
feel that energy. Thankful.
yes.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
thank
we're gonna get it started. So peace and love, family. Greetings from Plant Medu, your reality of high science and agricultural show. And this will benefit you and your family's journey for health and wellness. Again, I'm your host, The Truth, serving Medu Neter, divine speech. And here on Plant Medu Neter, we allow our connections to assist you in healing within a city near you. Uh, and, we converse with our community within holistic health, agriculture, human ancient sciences, and modern ways to heal yourself as well. So, welcome in, beloveds. I'm excited for you all to join us on this live reality and educational conversation. We have our special guest, Sister Banauset of Kemetic Wellness Official, and I am humble about you, Miss Banauset. Thank you. Will you tell us a little bit of your background? I know you've certified RN, BSN, certified Womb Yoga Dance Practitioner. What else do you have to offer us?
thank you for having me on first. I'm grateful that you asked me to come and speak with your audience. I love the idea of the show, even just the name of the show, Plant Medu. So thank you for having me. So my name is Banauset KaNSekhmet, and my background is in nursing. I'm a licensed registered nurse, which I've been for almost 14 years now in the New York area.
Wow.
So, from nursing, actually, several years ago, I started to have an interest in holistic medicine, natural lifestyle, just because of my own actual physical ailments that I was going through. And I started to go back to my roots, things that I learned from my Jamaican parents, and started implementing those things. And also, I started to see the need for cultural care in the hospitals. I started to see the things that patients were experiencing, and that everything that was being offered, whether it was medication or surgery, was really just a band aid, and it was not ever getting to the root of their issue. And they didn't know an alternative, and there was never an alternative given. There was no alternative information given. So what I did, this was really a journey of getting to know myself.
Mm.
Um, I started to explore more about natural medicine and also about African culture. Now, that's kind of a long story of how I even got into exploring African culture.
Okay.
But like I said, it was an exploration of myself. It started with me going natural with my hair, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, it started with that. And I had to face myself and face, like, why am I putting this thing on my hair, these relaxers on my hair, when I'm going natural with everything else? So it only made sense for me to see myself in my natural form. And from there, I started going deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole to find out more about myself as a Black woman, as a woman of African descent. And that led me to my African holistic health teachers. So the first teacher that I had, I was actually initiated into the shrine of Jehuti Heru Nebhu, which is a Kemetic shrine, and the focus there is on Medu Neter. Actually, it's on the
Wow.
Medu Neter. And
Wow.
yes,
That's amazing to hear.
yes, and my teacher was the one who taught me that even though I'm getting into all of these natural things, the yoga, the meditation, that your healing is in your culture. And it
Mm.
was from there that I started to learn about natural healing from the source, because it's all started from us. This is our stuff, you
Yeah.
know? And instead of imitating the imitators, I went right to the source, right to the root. And I started to learn about my culture through the Medu Neter, through the teachings of ancient Kemetic spirituality. And so I studied with uh, Jehuti Heru Nebhu, that shrine. And I also from there studied Kemetic Reiki, which is the energy healing, with Muchat Shemsut. She's a priestess in the Bronx, and she has a yoga studio called In Light Yoga and Health. And from there, I found out about Queen Afua, and Queen Afua has been such a huge Jagna teacher, transformer for me in my wellness and on my journey. And I learned about the womb wellness, the womb healing, and implementing our African culture as a practice, as a way of life, as a lifestyle, really
Mhm.
getting into the lifestyle rather than just the knowledge piece. And from there, I got certified with Queen of Four as a Womb Yoga Dance Practitioner. I went through the rites of passage, and I also have been certified as a Kemetic Reiki Practitioner and a natural health and wellness consultant under Dr. Akua Gray. She is another excellent teacher that I
I'm
have.
very aware. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So those are some of my things.
Only a
Priestess, scribe.
snippet. Y'all, only a snippet. This is only some of the things,
Yes,
and congratulations on all of your accomplishments and your
thank
knowledge that you are, you've actioned out as well as spreading for the masses, and in good intention. So I'm grateful for that as well. Uh,
you.
and you step right in it because I was going to ask, is there a specific situation or guide that was caused for you to dive deeper into the awareness, of the topics that you've studied, and so you went right on through it, so womb healing, womb trauma, toxic cords, womb health,
Yeah.
uh, that's pretty much your background.
Yes, actually. Everything that I studied, and I think this is kind of similar to a lot of the healers in the holistic community, is it's really a study of yourself and learning how to put yourself back together, and the things that you learn that become a part of your story, you share them with other people. So I learned the womb healing to heal my own womb and also to help other women so that they don't have to suffer the way that I suffered
Hmm.
with womb pain, you know.
So true. And I do want the audience to comprehend, the level of sensitivity these subjects hold and the energy, also the silence that's held over womb topics, in the area of trauma, spiritual ties and cords, coping, addictions, within womb toxicity, even abortions, unprotected sex, and we're dealing with that westernized unhealthy, yoni cleansing and practices and Western health for Black wombs.
Right.
Um, you know, how important is it to have these womb spaces?
It's extremely important because it's not being done anywhere else. And the majority of us have been taught in Western systems of education and are being treated medically under Western institutions. And we really don't understand that none of it is meant to really heal you. Like,
Mm.
none of it is meant to liberate you. None of it is meant to truly educate you. None of it is meant for your ascension and your elevation. And a lot of times it has you going around in circles, which is why you take one medication and then you end up with another problem. Then you need another medication, and then
Mm-hmm.
now you got another problem. And
Yes,
every time,
it's
it seems like every
crazy.
time you go back to the doctor, you get a new medication and a new
The
problem,
shame.
instead of fixing the one that you went in there with, until eventually they have to do surgery on you. And so a lot of us are not realizing that it's set up for you to fail. And I saw that
Mm.
in my own experience as a nurse, which is
Yeah, you
why
was a nurse. You
I
were
was
actually
desperate to
in there.
leave. Yes, yes. That was
Wow.
one of the reasons that was the main reason that I left nursing, actually,
Okay.
because I love being a nurse. Um,
Mm.
you can see I transferred from one area of healing into another. I never
Yes,
stopped doing
definitely.
healing work because that's really in my heart to do. I love
Mm.
the bedside care. I love taking care of people. I love helping somebody transform from a state of sickness into a state of wellness. But I wasn't able to teach the truth to people in
Oh,
the
wow.
hospital. Even when you do, because everybody else is saying something opposite of what you're saying, they think you're crazy. They think you
Wow.
don't know what you're talking about. And you're saying things that are very practical. Your problem is being caused by your nutrition. You're eating foods that are um, artificial, that are not good for you. These are the types of foods that you need to eat. And people are like, well, will that work? Well, yeah, this is why it was put here for you on the
Mhm.
earth. But because their doctors are not saying this to them and nobody else is saying this to them, they don't believe that. And so there are people who are awakening, who are
Yes,
coming into awareness about um, the fact that there is more information out there and they want to learn it. And that's what these spaces are there for. It's there for the people who are seekers and who want to learn and who actually want to put it into practice, because
most
they know
definitely.
they're not going to get that anywhere else.
So true. So you have that background of bedside manners, and a
Yes.
lot of people that are in the healing community need to be aware of bedside manners. You know how to talk to people and get that communication started, because it does matter. And people are
Yeah.
such on a brink, and short circuited, that's very important. As a nurse, as a health practitioner, holistic health, any alternative health, that bedside manners. I'm glad you mentioned that. Getting in that mindset of just speaking to a person, is definitely
Right.
important. Um, trauma, womb trauma specifically. I want to get into what is womb trauma, and trauma stems from past experiences and maybe
Yes.
even past realities. So where could women specifically start their trauma from? Where can it stem from?
So, womb trauma is any event or any series of events that cause either spiritual, mental, emotional illness that manifests physically in the womb. And it manifests physically in the womb as pain, as endometriosis, dysmenorrhea, which is painful, difficult periods, heavy, long bleeding on your periods, PCOS, fibroids, uterine cancer, and other feminine related diseases, so diseases of the breast as well. All of that is
Wow.
womb trauma. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it occurs, well, in our community, it's definitely generational.
Okay.
And it has started with what we know as the Ma'afa, which is our Holocaust, the slavery
Mm.
system and the system of colonization. There were a lot of things that happened to us over several hundred years that we never got help for. Several things, including rape, you know, rape of our great, 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 great grandmothers,
Mm.
and the trauma that went along with that was passed along to our mothers, right? The
Yeah.
trauma of having children that were taken away from you and sold this way, and your other child is sold that way, you know? The trauma of being kidnapped from your land, the trauma of not even being able to speak to the creator in your language and the creator that you know spiritually, and having to adopt an idea of womanhood that says that you were born in sin and that you are the reason for all of the problems that we experience here, that mankind experience. That's spiritual torture. That's a form of spiritual torture. And that affects us physically, because you start to have the idea that being a woman is not only evil, is sinful, is difficult, it may be even disgusting. How does that begin to manifest in your womb, you know?
Mm.
All of that, including us being experimented on in
True.
slavery, you know? And this happened for several hundred
Mm.
years. And it's still happening. It's just that we've become so used to it that we think it's normal. We think it's normal that we go to the doctor and we get these injections and these surgeries, and you know, they take cells from us and they do all these different types of experiments, and you know, we think it's normal. It's been happening for so long, and we never got help for it. There was no therapy for us. And so those same traumas that happened with our parents, um, they raise us from that space,
Mm.
and we act out those same behaviors again. We experience it in relationships as well. Most of us were grown without fathers in the home.
True.
uh, some of us didn't even have mothers either. Somebody else raised us. Half of
Yes.
us raised ourselves. And so you're just learning as you go. You're picking up the lies that are being taught to you through media, and you have no idea how to live in harmony within your body, and how to bring your womb into balance.
So
You know, so
true.
these are all of the things that cause womb trauma and perpetuate womb trauma.
So true. And you spoke about we're doing things unconsciously. You know,
Yeah,
it's in us to do it,
yeah,
and even being comfortable with those ways of being, unnatural ways, westernized ways of being, I would say. Um, could we talk about the food that pretty much goes against the womb, and also unhealthy coping choices that we feel are comfortable as women, you know, to cope with during these situations, you know, especially losing children, or you know, being a single mother, having mother issues, um, you know, while we're going through those things, there
hmm,
is other things filling us, you know, whether it's, you know, unhealthy voids or things that are being filled. um,
right,
what are healthy unhealthy coping choices that are, you know, familiar?
right. So some of the foods that we are eating that are unhealthy, we already know what's unhealthy. You know, it's not anything that's surprising for me to say. It's not something that we don't know, but we're doing what is convenient, what has been placed right in front of us, and
True.
not looking for an alternative to that. And so the unhealthy things, anything that is processed, anything that is outside of its natural form, is something that you shouldn't be putting in your body. So these canned foods, these tin foods, these microwave foods, micrograde foods, we
Yes,
shouldn't even be using the micrograde.
exactly.
Okay. Most of the things that are on the shelves are made for the shelf. They're made for shelf stability so that the food doesn't go bad. It's not made for your body to be stable. You
Wow,
understand?
that's
So
deep.
yeah. So there's so many preservatives and so much fake food that we're eating, and we don't understand how this affects us genetically. We really don't understand that it's from the food that we are actually making up our cells. Your cellular makeup comes from the nutrients that's in the food. So when you're eating plastic food, when you're eating lab food, fake food, fast food, you are destroying yourself at the cellular level, and that affects the children that you give birth to. So when we have these children that are born several weeks early and are born in the NICU, their lungs are not developed, their organs are not fully developed. You didn't eat properly to be able to birth a fully healthy child.
Wow,
You understand?
wow.
I feel like there was another part of your question that I should have answered and it slipped my mind.
No
Well, please
worries, no
remind me.
worries. I got you. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, for as far as coping, um,
Yes.
as far as coping, what are women coping with, and how are they coping? We can get some unhealthy ways, whether it's binging on certain things, binging on, we got to the foods, but there are us also other things, whether it be social media, whether it be,
Mm,
I'm not sure, but I'm sure you are
yeah,
aware and have seen other women cope with different things.
absolutely. When I've talked to a lot of women who may have issues with their nutrition and their
Hmm.
weight, a lot of the time it's related to womb trauma, specifically sexual abuse, and they're using the food to cope. They're
Oh,
using the food. I've even heard from certain women that they feel safer with extra weight on them because they
hmm.
feel either stronger or they feel that nobody else is going to be looking at them to violate them. You understand? So,
Wow.
yes. So, a lot of women are using the food as comfort. It's like that's the only time they feel good. And a lot of these artificial foods, the processed foods, they have chemicals in them that make you feel good. So it creates a chemical reaction in the brain, and it's like a drug. It really is like a drug to you. And you're eating it, and after you finish eating it, it actually does deplete the body of nutrients, so you feel bad, but you remember how good you felt while you were tasting the food and you go back for more of it. So it creates a really negative cycle. So I've also learned that the types of foods that you eat can be an indicator of the emotional distress that you're going through. So, for example, those of us who may have issues with our mother longing for that maternal figure, oftentimes you will go for dairy products. So, you've heard of women eating a whole tub of ice cream or a lot of bird cheese. Anytime you have craving for dairy, it relates to your relationship with your mother. So you're
Wow.
seeking nurturing, you're seeking self love, and you're doing it through the foods. You understand? Those are some of the coping mechanisms. And we have so many other, some really good ones. One is definitely live vision. That television is a dangerous weapon. I was day before we got on, I was watching a 3-part documentary that I watched years ago, but it was so excellent. I had to go and like track it down and find it. It was on YouTube, and it was by a brother by the name of Irritated Genie. And he really breaks down entertainment. And number one, the purpose has been why it is used, and the themes that really program our minds in a particular way, which is always set for destruction. It's always set for destruction. We think that these things are entertainment, which means it's just a joke. And that is the biggest lie.
Yes.
That is the biggest lie I have ever heard. It's none of it, absolutely none of it is there without a purpose. Every single thing that you watch on television is there to get a particular message to you. And for you to be a Black person in a society that you know is anti-Black, and to eat up anything that is fed to you, you have to, I have to be real. You have to not only be cowardly because you're afraid to go again, you have to also be very dumb. Very dumb. And they are intentionally dumbing us down so that we accept more.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
Totally
so
agree.
that's one of the ways. That's one of the ways. That's one of the biggest ways. That reality TV. Woo.
Yeah, and it the media, not it's definitely a mind altering machine, you know.
Right.
And you know, because we do have businesses and things and want to get the knowledge out, social media is, you know, present in those ways, but we do want to hit on the fact that what what the perpetrators are putting out, what the Western society is putting out, and who actually is behind it, who actually owns these platforms, you know, and you know, why should we trust them now? You know, like you know, so it's just some questions like why, you know, like we know the history, and different people are awakening, and we know the books are wrong, and you know, history is wrong. And so you know, why do we feed into these things? Why do we keep feeding the beast instead of taking the new knowledge and applying it and actioning it out for our new generations? Because nothing is for us now, it's for always for our other generations, our future. You know, for sure. Definitely we want to implement it right now to be able to change the future. So I'm glad you touched based on the coping and the different foods that women use to cope with those toxic situations. Now for our brothers out there, men, male energy assisting their divine feminine into womb healing. Have you experienced what men can do to assist their women into womb healing, or actions that couples can do?
Well, whether couple or single, there are a lot of things that our men can do to assist us in womb healing.
Okay.
The number one thing that I can say is the way that you treat your woman can assist in womb healing. We have a culture that really glorifies depravity, that glorifies degradation. And as a man, to stand in your masculine power and defend and protect your women by, number one, protecting their image. You understand? Speaking highly, or at least not degrading women, you know, especially on these public platforms. That's a huge help. That's a huge benefit. Also offering your support as a father and as a husband. A lot of men are not taught what it means to be a man in the same way that other groups of men understand manhood. And certain things that are argued about in our community. Oh, why do I have to take care of my wife? Other men find pride in it. It's not a point of contention. It's not even argument. It's not even a discussion. As a man, it is your role to be a provider and a protector. And when a woman has that safe space and she's able to trust you without being mistreated, without being abused, without you having your foot on her neck, and she has that safety, that allows her to do her feminine work and also support you so that you can do your work. So we're supposed to be complementary to each other. And by a man stepping into his place as a man, being that strong pillar for women, being that protector, that allows us the space to do the healing work that we need to do. That allows us to also be nurturing to our male counterparts. You can't expect, we hear these terms all the time about Black women being too strong or too masculine. And a lot of times they're not understanding that also means that you're being too feminine. That's really what they're saying. That means that you're not stepping into your role, your masculine role, and because of that void, she's having to fill that.
Whoa.
And that's the part that I think a lot of men, unfortunately, are missing. I think they're missing that. And that is necessary for us both to complement and help each other.
Definitely. I appreciate that. That's really deep. That's really needed to hear, especially for our brothers out there who need to up their game for their woman, and diving into we got the relationship part, but going into a relationship, that importance of self-love, loving yourself, seeing yourself worthy of clean energy, of pure intentions, seeing yourself worthy of manifesting out of cycles and things. How important is that as well to womb healing?
Can you say that again? I don't think I got everything.
Okay. So the importance of self-love, the importance of seeing yourself worthy of being in clean energy, pure energy, seeing yourself worthy of manifesting out of cycles. I would say how important is it for you to visualize that for someone who wants to go towards womb healing, um, womb building, I would say.
That's actually the basis of doing your womb healing work, is a desire for doing the self-healing work and the self-love. It's an expression of self-love to take care of yourself. It's an expression of self-love. And that's what we see now with all of these level up movements, these goddess movements, divine femininity. That is really what we're getting back to. Because, as they say, the Black woman has been the most disrespected, the most uncared for, the most unprotected. And so we're learning that anything that we need to experience in our lives, we have to give it to ourselves first, to love yourself enough to want to even do that. And on one end, people are speaking about the self-love in terms of getting your money up and getting your look together, looking a particular way, and that's one aspect of it. But there's nothing more loving that you can do for your temple, your mind, your heart, your womb, your basis of self-love. And yes, self-love is necessary, or a desire for self-love is necessary for you to even take on this journey to even begin the work of womb healing.
So that's the start. That's where you have to start. That ain't no middle
Yeah.
thing. That's where it starts.
No.
Okay.
That is where it
Okay.
starts.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, with womb healing, is there a certain chakra that you focus on uprooting to channel that focus, or all of them, just focus on all of them?
Well, if you have to start with any uh, chakra or any energy center, you always want to ground yourself first. So for us, if I speak about us collectively as a people, our lower chakras are totally out of alignment because that is the foundation. And whenever you get the foundation together, it gives you the space and the ability to um, receive and to develop those higher energy centers where you can experience love, you can experience good communication, you can experience self-actualization and higher consciousness. But you cannot do when your lower, most primal basic needs are not met. So I would say the lower chakras, and that would be the sacral chakra, and that would be the solar plexus, specifically the root, because the root deals with it deals with stability, including fatigue. It deals with safety. And we are in a state where we are experiencing things that make us feel unsafe, such as white supremacy, such as watching ourselves be killed on a regular basis on TV, or on social media, such as us not even having the financial means to create the things that we need for ourselves in our community, to where we always have to go into these other spaces. We have to go into their schools. We don't have our own schools. We have to go to hospitals. We don't have our holistic healing clinics, not in the numbers that we need them. This needs to be everywhere the way all the other stuff is everywhere, so that, we see the alternative and we can make an intelligent decision about what to do. That's the base. We have to get the base, secured first before we can say, oh, now we're going to speak to each other lovingly, and we're going to have divine communication and self-actualization, higher consciousness. You can't do all of that when you are scrambling, when your root, your base is off balance. They say that the hungry man cannot stop to smell the roses. You can't stop and enjoy the roses, the beautiful things in life, when your belly is grumbling. So we have to make sure that we can provide our own food for ourselves, that we are spending our money in communities, we're supporting our businesses. Those things are extremely important, and that's the root chakra. That's really what that's about. That's the root. You understand? So that foundation has to build up and work to the higher planes of consciousness.
Okay, thank you for that. That's real deep. And thank you all for joining. We have been speaking about womb healing, womb trauma, past trauma, present trauma. Women deal with so many things: miscarriages, mother issues, past parental issues, rape, abortions, and these things are very rarely spoken about in our community, and so with all of these things that we've spoken about, I would say important topics that we've spoken about. um, I know you offer services. You have a huge, great background. I'm in awe of your background alone. Uh, and I just want to put out your services. Are there any services that you provide? Any media that we can go and check you out on, so we can keep up with you, so we can keep up with womb healing, for women out there who are searching for these platforms to build themselves, to build their confidence? Uh, what can we get offered from you, Sister Banauset?
Oh, absolutely. So the platforms that I have, my website is KaMeticWellness.com. So you can find all of my services and information on KaNSekhmet.com. I have a YouTube channel where on all of these topics, holistic health, womb healing, and spirituality, on my YouTube channel, which is Kemetic Wellness. Google Kemetic Wellness, you're going to find me. So if
Perfect.
you forget the exact name, you'll find me on YouTube under Kemetic. So the programs that I have and the services that I have now, the first thing I would say is a call. If there's anyone who has specific questions on anything and you're not sure which service to go into, you can book a clarity call inexpensive. It's just a quick call to point you in the right direction. You can see which service you actually need. I also have Kemetic Reiki services. So the Kemetic Reiki works on the energetic healing, which also can trigger and teach as well about the physical healing, clearing away trauma that has weighed down your auric or spiritual body. Okay. Kemetic Reiki is laying on of the hands, but it can also be done virtually and through distance. In Kemetic Reiki, we use sound healing, we use chanting, we use prayer, we use guided meditation, we use crystals, aromatherapy, all of these different beautiful modalities clear away stagnant energy. It also helps with cord cutting, releasing ties that you need to cut in order for your higher consciousness, for your good. It also deals with ancestral healing. So for those of us who are ancestral trauma and you are the chosen, that I see what's going on in my family and I want to take things in a different direction, this cycle stops with me. You can work. So that's one service that I have. Consultation is usually for one issue that you want to talk about, and it's usually just one session. A holistic assessment may also be for one particular issue, but in chronic issue, there may be several things going on. And so it's an extensive assessment where we do iridology, we look at the mouth, the tongue. It's a head to toe assessment. We do your blood pressure analysis, which gives more information than just the high or low. It actually tells you what the numbers mean and which areas of the body, which organs and organ systems are stressed based on the blood pressure. Wow. We also do saliva testing and urine testing, which gives me a pH of the blood, yeah, and lets me know if your blood is too alkaline or too acidic, and how we can bring that back into balance with nutrition. And the result of your assessment is that you get a blueprint, which I call a wellness transformation blueprint. It doesn't just work on or give you suggestions that are physical. It's mental suggestions, because I'm going to notice what are the mental blockages that have led you here as well. Wow. It's going to give you the blueprint on your emotions, what is going on with you emotionally that has led you here, and also spiritual, physical, nutrition, herbs, all of that is going to be a part of your blueprint. So that's another service that I do. Another thing that I have right now is the Abu M Ka'at, which is Abu M Ka'at means dance of the womb. And it's a membership for women that teaches womb yoga dance. Okay. Womb yoga dance is Kemetic sacred movement that focuses on womb healing. We do breath work, we do meditation, we do prayer, and we learn the Kemetic spiritual system. We learn the different Necheru, which are the divinities, or the aspects of nature that exist within us and without in nature. And we use all of these things, including nutrition, the elements, all of these things to bring us back into balance. So we meet every week, and sometimes we live stream on YouTube. So you can catch us on YouTube Tuesdays at 6 p.m. if you learn more about what we do in the Abu MKI. But it's always more lit in the group, of course, because we got everybody's energy in the group, not just me.
Yeah, for sure.
You know? So I have membership. I also have another really special program, which is detox, which I in the session.
For sure.
This is for people who want to learn about nutrition and they want to implement it, and they want to change things in a very short period of time. The 21-day detox was the first thing that I did that led me on this journey. It was the first thing that I did. And I did it because I learned that the number 21, it takes 21 days to develop a new habit, to create a new pathway in the brain. And from there, you actually can create a whole new lifestyle. And that's exactly what I've done. And I do it every season because it keeps me on track. And
for real,
once you do it the one time, you can always join us again every season. The group where you can communicate with in the group. I'm going to read your answers. I'm going to be chatting with you, things like that. So one day detox for those who want to learn how to go plant-based properly. Okay.
Wow.
And I have something special, very, very special for this particular audience.
Yeah.
And this is the High Vibration Nutrition Program. Okay. So the High Vibration Nutrition Program actually incorporates all of these things into one. Yes.
That's a lot. That's a lot of information.
Yes. Yes. It's a lot of information. It's a new program that I'm launching this year.
Yeah.
And if you go to KaNSekhmet.com/HVN and you get the program, you can use the code Mahalo Soul Chef to get a percentage off if you book the program. So this is just special for this audience.
Y'all heard that?
Mahalo Soul Chef. Okay. So this program, it goes through.
Wait, hold up. So I'm as you're speaking, I'm typing. So KaMeticWellness.com /HVN. All right. So y'all gotta put my name in there to get your present, your prize. Okay. So don't sleep on me, y'all. Get your things, get your wellness together. All right.
Yes.
I put it. I actually put it. Everyone, so I put it in the
Soul Chef is the code. Yes, I see it. So 12 program is going to help to heal. Is going to help to heal from womb trauma. The first phase of the program takes you through the nutrition. So I'm really going to break down the nutrition part in the first phase. The second phase breaks down the culture, because we know that your healing is in your culture. And the last phase breaks down healing through energy, healing on an energetic level. Okay, I believe it was Nikola Tesla who said that if you want to understand the secrets of the vision and frequency, and so we're getting to that level, really understanding things on an energetic level so that you know how to heal yourself. You get the secrets of how to heal. on an energetic level from a cultural perspective, and we're also breaking down the foods. So this program is going to be transformational. It's launching in 2022, and I would love to have you all there with me and help you transform your lives. So go to KaMeticWellness.com/HBN and use the code Mahalo Soul Chef to sign up for their program.
Indeed, everyone. I have put the website on the link at the bottom of the chat. So go to www.KaMeticWellness.com. It's /HVN. And to get the what is it? The regular pages is www.KaMeticWellness.com. Sister Banauset is on YouTube. I've been watching her videos all week on YouTube, so I'm pretty, heightened. Also on Instagram, please follow Sister Banauset on Instagram as well. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time, your energy, your knowledge as well. I really enjoyed this conversation, this needed conversation. I appreciate that, and I believe it'll definitely help a lot of women and men as well. We talk for the brothers too.
Yeah, we did. You're one of the founder brothers, so I actually really appreciate that.
Word.
Most people only focus on the wellness.
Oh yeah, so for sure.
I'm glad I could speak to them today as well. Yeah.
For sure. I balance the energies a lot. Thank you so much for having me.
I love the setup of the show.
Oh yeah, for sure. I appreciate you. I appreciate your torch. You're setting a great standard for sure. And thank you all, everyone, for tuning in to PlantBasedSocialHawaii, your divine speech of high science and agriculture. You'll find this video. I'm going to repost it on my YouTube. PlantBasedSocialHawaii. Go ahead and subscribe us on YouTube. And stay tuned. We have more science for you, more wellness. And thank you, Sister Banauset. I love your presence. I love what you're doing. And we're gonna stay in tune. I want to put that the code and stuff and everything on my story for my viewers and things to tap into your services. So thank you so much for your time and your energy.
Right.
For sure. And you have a great weekend.
And thank you to everyone who's on the live as well. I comment and I appreciate it.
Yes.
Peace and love. Thank you to the Plant Medu, to you, Ruth the Truth, for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I thank you. I thank you for your spirit. How you feel? You feel good? Feel good about the conversation?
I feel excellent. I feel excellent. It was a great conversation, great energy from you and also from the viewers in the live feed. So I appreciate the hearts. Right. I see the hearts.
Yeah, the hearts, the good hearts for sure. The love. So thank you, sis. Banauset, I thank you for your presence and your knowledge, and we'll touch bases soon for sure.
Yes, we sure will. Peace and love.
All right. Peace and love. Thanks. Oh, shit.